Hi, everybody. My name's Tom Wilkins, and welcome to Tomcast. I'm with my good friend, Mr. Gaylon Boshears. Is it Boshears? That's what I thought it was. And Gaylon is the chairman of the Garland County Republican Party, of which in all disclosure, I am a person that's been in the Republican Party for a long, long time. Not always, but several years ago, I decided that was the route to go. And so happy that I have been a person of interest, if you will. Galen, welcome to the program. And Galen here is the chairman, the head man at the Garland County Republican Party, and doing an excellent job, I might add. Galen, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Tom. Glad to be here.
You bet. And tell me just a little bit about your background. Let's start with that.
Well, I grew up in Jacksonville, Arkansas. Graduated high school way back in 1982. Played football like you did. We actually went 14-0, won state championship.
You go, boy.
Which was a lot of fun.
Sure.
Went to UALR. After UALR, worked on a couple of political campaigns. Actually worked as staff on Asa Hutchins's first campaign when he ran for U.S. Senate way back in 1986. And in the 80s, I was involved with college Republicans, young Republicans here in Arkansas, and got an opportunity to work on a campaign in Massachusetts a couple of years after college. And I was 24 years old, wanted to see some of the country. So moved up there, and as a Republican in Massachusetts, the congressional candidate, of course, lost. Republicans haven't won elections up there in forever, but enjoyed being up there. Loved New England in the summer. Winters were a little bit more challenging, and got a job up there with the Aetna as a personal injury adjuster for a couple of years. Wasn't particularly crazy about that, and then got a job as an account executive for a firm that did special events and fundraising, and worked for them for 5 or 6 years. Ended up starting my own firm in Portland, Maine. Next thing I knew, 4 or 5 years later, I had about 100 employees, a printing company, a 7,000 square foot building, and it was just over my head. Things were happening so fast, but it was a great time, and had the company up there for years and years. Got married a little later in life, had a baby, another baby on the way. Realized I really wanted to come back here to family in Arkansas.
Sure.
And moved here Christmas of 2006 and opened a agency in Little Rock as well, a lot smaller, doing the same thing. Sold my firm up there to my vice president, and have had the company here, about 17, 18 years, and loved being in Hot Springs. That was an accident. We always thought we would be in Little Rock, West Little Rock, where family is, out Highway 10, Roland, way out. But I had a couple homes to sell up there, and that's when the market crashed really hard in New England and California first, and told my parents, well, we're going to move back. And they were just shocked because they thought I never would ever come back. I'd be up there forever. And I said, but we can't move until we sell a couple of houses. And I said, well, why don't you live in our house in Hot Springs for free? Okay, 5,000 square foot house. Yeah, we can do
Tough gig.
Yeah, we can do that and just leave the houses for sale up there. And after a couple of years, neither one had still sold. And my wife said, I want to stay in Hot Springs. I don't want to move to Little Rock once they sell. And by that point, I totally agreed with her. Just a great place to raise kids and raise a family.
Wow. It's funny how God works in our lives, and we go down rabbit holes sometimes, and yet it turns out to be a good thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And yeah, like I said, I moved here Christmas of 06, and a few years later started getting a lot more involved with the community, coaching tons and tons of athletic teams for my son and my daughter, and then being involved with a few other nonprofit type organizations.
Wow.
And then started getting involved with Republican politics. At the county fair way back, I met Tom Cotton. Well, that's when he was running for Congress. I gave her my card and said, anything I can do for you. And 6 months later, we talked on the phone. I said, when are you going to do something have a fundraiser reception in Hot Springs? He goes, well, I haven't done one yet for my whole campaign, but can we do one at your house? And I
Oh, wow.
okay. And he lined up a lot of great co-hosts.
Mhm.
Oh, Don Gooch was a co-host, Dorothy Morris, uh, Spicer. Yeah,
Force.
we had just some great Les Warren, and we had some great co-hosts, and I had about 100 people at my home and raised him, I think, about $25,000. And for some reason, after that, everyone started asking me, "Can we do a reception at your house? Can we?"
Yeah, yeah,
Because I had Congressman Westerman's first fundraiser 2 years later,
yeah.
his campaign kickoff.
Bruce was, I did a podcast with him about 2 weeks ago,
Elk.
sitting right there.
And then I started having other people, Senator Clark would say, "Hey, can we do a fundraiser for Tim Griffin at your house? Hey, can we do a fundraiser for the treasurer's race at your?"
Wow.
So it started morphing to one or two fundraisers
Now,
a year.
are any of those 100 people that you had originally, are they still staying at your house, or? No, you got them. You finally kicked them out?
I got them out, and
Okay.
unfortunately downsized a couple years ago with my daughter going off to college, and my son. It was just my son and I, and
Sure.
so I downsized so I can't have the big parties anymore.
Okay.
We downsized to a condo on the lake.
Well, tough gig. Well, very interesting. So how did you morph into being the chairman of the Republican Party here?
Well, I had been a member many, many years ago, and had not been a member for a while. I had been on the CASA board and the CASA chairman as well.
Mhm.
And we had our meetings at the same time as the County Republican Party. So I always had to go to the CASA meetings, and I'd fallen off being a member. So I came back, about 15, 16 months ago. And the county party was in a little bit of turmoil then, going a couple different directions.
Right.
And then, I made it known that, well, when the elections come up in 6 months or 8 months, if you need a second or third vice chairman or something along those lines, I'll be willing to serve and willing to help. And then a couple of the elected officials, a few months later, said, Gail, we want you to run for chairman. And I was like, what?
Right.
I feel like a carpetbagger,
Meh.
having been gone so long. And so, I went to dinner with a couple of them and they explained things and, said, well, what the party needed and ended up running for chairman and I ran unopposed
Well, good for you.
and
Good
took
for you.
over in January of this year. So I've been chairman 8 months.
Now, I've seen you. We run into each other all the time at the San Francisco Bread Company.
Saturday morning.
And I see you surrounded by a bunch of beautiful ladies over there. And I said, what kind of deal is that? I was asking Drickers. And he says, that's his committee over there.
Working events committee.
Well, you find good working, beautiful women working together. They get stuff done.
Absolutely. And they are some go-getters.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah. Carrie Barber Bars, Stephanie Morgan, Virginia Liberty, Sherry Bales.
Yep.
Yeah, there's some real go-getters.
I know most all those gals, and they're hard workers, and that's about getting accomplishment. You have,
And we do have some males on that group too. JP Allen Floyd, JP Dayton Myers, Garrett Collier, one of our new members. So
yeah.
we do have some males. I don't want to seem like
Now
I'm just surrounded by
no,
women there.
no. Well, it's okay. It's okay. I'm just saying that for your wife's purpose here, talking. No, but in all seriousness, you're getting a lot done, and you've had great turnouts. I mean, I've only been able, because of my schedule, it's tough for me sometimes on Thursdays to come to different events, but it's not that my heart's not there. It's just that my schedule's kind of tough sometimes. But the two that I have been to recently, you've had great turnover, right at 100 people, I would say.
We had 95 people there last time.
That's
I
great.
think as of tonight, we're going to swear in a couple of new members. And I think that will break the all-time record of 151 members.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, so
That's
the all-time
wonderful.
record.
Yeah, I remember years and years ago, I think that Alan was chairman, possibly Alan Clark, And some of those meetings got a little hot.
Yes.
They got a little hot, and I remember that well. And I don't like to be around a tremendous amount of controversy. Uh, it didn't set well sometimes, and you'd walk away with not a positive attitude because what are these people thinking? You'd always have one or two people that are just kind of off the wall. And I don't care if it's a Democratic Party or a Republican Party. It's just you want to be united, and I think you've brought a lot of that together, that unitedness.
Because there was some consternation a year ago. There were some issues, but that seems to have all smoothed out.
Yeah,
We're real happy about that.
that's great. Now, if I want to, or a person wants to be a member of the Garland County Republican Party, what process is it that you go through?
Well, our meetings are the first Thursday every month, 6 o'clock at the library. And you come and fill out paperwork, and we notarize it there. It's just one sheet. And you write a $50 check, which is your membership.
Okay.
And you're introduced at that meeting. And then the next meeting you come to, you're voted on and voted in as a member. And we would love to have people come out and join.
Good. Well,
Because we're close to being the largest Republican county committee group in the state. Benton County has about 165 to 170. And that's our next goal.
next to goal, yeah.
Is to be the largest in the state.
Well,
And that's just strictly ego. We
Yeah.
want to say that.
Galen, when I moved to town, I think it was 79 when I moved here, it was all Democrats. I mean, and I was not a Democrat, I was Republican, although my mother back in the day in Wisconsin, she was the chairman of the local area Democratic Party there. Yeah, and so that was interesting. Of course, that was back when John F. Kennedy ran for president, and High Hopes I could still remember as a young boy. He had that song, and I had just enjoyed singing that song, and so it was easy for me growing up. It's whatever you're surrounded with, and the Democratic Party was different then than it is
They
today.
believe in tax cuts.
Yeah,
You won't
yeah.
find any Democrats that believe that now.
True. And so what do you think about on a national level? I know you're here on local level, but on a national level, what some of the stuff that's going on now? What's your slant on it?
Been a phenomenal year since President Trump has taken office. I mean, it's amazing what he has got accomplished in living up to all his promises. And the Democrats, as you probably know, they're the most unpopular they've ever been in the history of the Democratic Party. Poll after poll comes back with them having 21% favorability rating, 27, 28% favorability rating. And they love to talk about, well, President Trump only has 44 or 45% favorability. Well, he's twice as popular as the Democrats.
Right.
But that never comes up. And they have taken so many positions that are just 80-20, where they're taking the 20% positions of trans children in school playing girls' sports, which that's overwhelmingly the public is against that. The crime, they've taken positions where they don't want ICE there. They don't want federal law followers. They want cashless bail. They want criminals back out on the street. I'm just amazed at some of the positions they've taken, and they're pandering to their very radical base. But it doesn't resonate with the American public at all.
Right. I've got a few friends that are Democrats. They're still friends. We still have discussions about things, but I think on a national level right now, the word Democrat, I think of synonymous with idiots.
Right. It's the only thing they can say is Trump bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's all about hate for Trump. And it's not, I think that they probably agree on more issues that I agree on privately,
yes.
but it's like Mr. Trump is somebody they just hate. They can't see the issue part, they see the Trump part of it. And personally, he's done a hell of a job in the last few months, just turning things around when people were walking across the border.
12 million over 4 years.
12 million. And how many of those were non-vetted people that, I'm not saying they're all bad. I'm not saying that.
But you could be a terrorist and walk across.
That's exactly right.
Vetted.
Exactly right. And I just believe that it should be like the America that I grew up in. If they came across the border, they should be vetted and having to go through a process. And they're not. They never did that, and now they're crying wolf. It's just it's crazy. Let's take just a little brief break here for a commercial, but I'm so glad to have my friend Gaylon in here to talk about common sense and about the conservative Republican Party that I've grown to love. Thank you, and we'll be back in just a second. This is Tom Wilkins with Tomcast. I have my friend Gaylon here. And Gaylon, where do we want to go with it? Let's talk about the Republican Party, and let's talk about what it costs to get involved and how you're getting involved with people.
Where we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I told you, we're just breaking the all-time record. The things that the party has accomplished in Garland County the past 12 years is amazing. I mean, as you know, for years and years and years, there was not an elected Republican in Garland County. As of now, there are 20, and most people don't know this at all. There are 29 positions where you have to register as Republican or Democrat in Garland County.
Huh.
We've got 4 state reps, and that's with Representative Richard Womack from Arkadelphia.
Mhm.
He's got part of western Garland County, or southern Garland County, as well as Representative Cozard, Warren, and McGrew. And we've got our 2 senators, Senator McKee and Senator Clark. So that's 6. And then we've got 7 county offices with the judge, the sheriff, treasurer on down to coroner. So, and then you've got 13 justices of the peace that run county government with Judge Mahoney. And then, which most people don't realize, we have 3 constable offices where you have to run as
Wow.
compared to Democrat. Yeah. And of those 29 positions, 28 are elected Republicans. We would love to get that last 29th, which is a justice of the peace, for bragging rights.
Sure.
I'd love to say we're a completely red county because for 100 years, this was a completely blue county.
I know that all too well.
And like I said, you come to one of our county committee meetings the first Thursday of the month at 6 o'clock at the library. You pay $50 and sign a little 1-page application. And the next meeting you come to, you'll be voted in as being a member. We've got a couple things coming up. One is our annual big fundraiser, our Lincoln Reagan Day dinner. Last year we had Congressman Westerman as our speaker. We've had Senator Cotton, Governor Huckabee, and former Governor Huckabee, all within the past 5 or 6 years. We're real excited about this year. Congressman Westerman helped bring in a special guest, and that's Congressman Jason Smith from the Boot Hill, Missouri. And what he is the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, which might be the most powerful position on Capitol Hill. And if you're a political geek like I am, way back in the 60s and 70s, you had Congressman Wilbur Mills here in Arkansas from the 2nd Congressional District.
I remember.
Yes, he got in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
He was the House Chairman, Ways and Means Committee, and he was often called the most powerful man in Washington. So the House Ways and Means Chairman holds a lot of power. And that's going to be Friday, October 24th at the Arlington Hotel. We've got a private reception at 6 o'clock for $50. And then we've got the banquet, which is at 7 o'clock for $80. And a table for 8 is $600. And it's going to be a fantastic night, a great event. We'll have lots of other elected officials there as well from around the state.
Now, how can you get tickets to this?
You can get those on our Facebook page or our website. Or you can come to one of our monthly meetings and buy tickets. Because when you do go to our Facebook page or our website, therpgc.org, or Republican Party of Garland County is our Facebook page address. It's through Eventbrite, and they charge you a little bit of interest, their fee. So you don't have to pay that if you come to a meeting directly and pay, which we would prefer if possible.
Now, earlier you were talking about Tom Cotton, and I remember having Tom when he first ran, It might have been the first event in Hot Springs. It's arguable, but I think it was his first big event, and his opponent was with him, and I went really honestly, I thought this guy's never going to amount to anything. I really did feel that way. And he's just, remember Beth Ann Rankin?
Oh yeah,
No, Beth Ann was there that night, and they were running against each other.
that's the same time that I threw the fundraiser.
Okay, Tom
Was running.
was pretty green.
He was.
He was pretty green, and I look at my memory of that event, and that where he's at today is just I'm usually pretty good at reading people, but Tom really surprised me.
He had a great resume, but like you said, he was really green.
He was really
He had
green.
been back in Arkansas a year and a half, maybe.
Yeah,
That-
yeah, and it's just amazing to me how wrong I was, because he turned into a person that was made for that role, and some people wanted him to run for president back not too long ago.
Right.
And so he's really upped his game, if you will. And I'm so proud to know him. He's been to my show before, back when I was doing shows, and just a good guy.
I
Good
remember
guy.
I came to, I think, a breakfast reception at your theater.
Okay.
After he was already a congressman,
Yeah.
and he might have been running for Senate at that point.
Yeah.
But I brought my kids out for a
Really?
7:30 in the morning.
Oh, well, that's a little early for me, but no, it really isn't. But yeah, and then we talked a few years ago. Someone approached me at the Republican Party about, because they knew that I knew Governor Huckabee, the first Governor Huckabee, and Mike, and to see Mike's career, how it's grown. We've been friends for a long, long time, and I asked him if he'd be the main speaker that night. It was at at Oak Lawn. It was held, and he says,
Huge turnout.
huge turnout, and gosh, to see where his life has gone now is just very amazing. I talked to him not too long ago, and he said, "Tom, this is really an experience being over here in Israel." And yeah, and it's just amazing. But I'm so blessed to have him, call him a friend. But anyway, it's not about me. It's about you. You're here, and you're representing the Republican Party as you should be, and to see where you've gone from just somebody that was kind of the outer circle, attended things once in a while and whatnot, to be the chairman of it. And tell me just a little bit about how that started. I know we talked about it a little bit earlier, but there's more to it. There were your idea of where the Republican Party in Garland County should go right now. Tell me about your vision.
Well, we're headed in the right direction. Like I said, we're breaking all-time membership records. With filing fees this year,
Mhm.
as well as fundraisers, the party's going to make over $80,000 this year,
Wow.
which is going to give a lot of money for us to spend those elections and candidates next year. And we don't get involved in any primaries, which are in March. We just get involved in the general election, which will be in November here, 14 months away. Now, I can't believe we're already talking about filing for candidates, because the election was just 10 months ago. But our primary has moved up now this year, as opposed to May. We're having them always in March. There was a new state law that went through the legislature this past year. So we're going to have to file as candidates in November, and then the Republican and the Democratic primaries are going to be the first Tuesday in March. So we're already there. And like I said, we've got 28 of the 29 elected positions here in Garland County. But some places where some Democrats get elected, and some of them liberal, are nonpartisan races. The school boards, the Hot Springs City Board of Directors. I would like to start getting more involved in those races
Okay.
with donations, endorsements, because if you're running for school board, In the past, it's just been almost a popularity contest.
Right.
Who knows you well? And you have these elections by themselves, and you win with 700 votes, 800 votes.
Mhm.
Things are different now. Also, with the state legislature this past spring, there's a new law where there are no more standalone school board elections. They have to be combined with either the primary or with the general election. So there's not going to be any more winning elections with 600 or 700 or 800 votes. You're going to be on the ballot with presidents, governors, congressmen, every JP, county judge, county sheriff. So you're going to start winning with a lot more votes, and everyone's going to be voting.
Now, what do you feel that you brought up that subject now? How do you feel about special elections?
Hate them. And that's what the legislature addressed.
Yeah.
They're going to have to be combined now with either the primary, where you vote in the Democrat or the Republican. And it's the same question on the ballot for special elections, whether it's a millage or something else. So they're going to be in the primary or in November. So you're not going to be able to turn out 1,300 people and win a millage or a special tax for the county. Now you're going to go through all the voters, whoever turns out for the elections. So it's going to take 20, 30,000 to win the election.
I always thought special elections were a farce.
Absolutely.
You know, it's just it's a group of people from whatever the issue was or is, either in the city of Hot Springs or Garland County or whatever. It's like these people always know they can push something through if they do a special election.
And turn out their little 4% of the voters.
That's right. That's right. And it's just not fair to everybody concerned. And people just, like you said, they just don't turn out for special election. But if it's a presidential race or something a little bit less than that, you always in the general election have a great turnout.
And the legislature's been addressing this for about 4 or 5 years now. It came up in 2021 and failed. Came up in 2023, couldn't get out of committee, but it finally passed this year.
Right.
And we're just very excited about it.
Right. What other topic, you've got the mic, you got the floor right now. Is there anything else that's close to your heart that you want to discuss?
Well, like I said, it's filing. We encourage you to come down and see us, visit with us. We're always looking for candidates for all these positions. Filing fees for the Republican Party, for county judges, $4,000. Judge Mahoney is retiring. He stated he will not be running for reelection. Bo Robertson, who is the 911 communications director, is going to be running for that seat. Sheriff McCormick is going to be running for reelection as well. That's $4,000 as a filing fee.
Mm-hmm.
The other county offices, clerk, circuit clerk, treasurer, tax collector, assessor, coroner, those are all $3,000 filing fees. And then you've got the justice of the peace, and those filing fees are $500 each.
Okay.
And lots of people don't know what the justice of the peace do. They don't just marry people. They run county government. The jails and all the county offices, the highways. They are much more involved than people realize.
Sure. And of course, the city's in the county. Last time I looked, right?
Yes.
And some people don't realize that all the time.
And there's been a few battles, as you well know, between
Yeah.
the county and the city over the past.
I remember times, of course, I've been around a while, but I remember times when they were going to build a new jail and all the controversy around that. But it's probably one of the best things we've ever done in hindsight.
Right. You had the water issue.
That's right.
With the county and the city. And just as a pet peeve, I like good government, and this drives me a little bit crazy. We have got 2 911 systems here in Garland County. The county has one, the city has one, and we're spending a ridiculous amount of money when we could combine that system. Right? Everyone wants to keep their system, and I don't want to play if I might lose control of that system, in my opinion.
Isn't it common sense? And we've lost that in our society's common sense. Is we go this way or that way, and it's crazy. What just does it make sense? You talk about good government. I'm involved with some friends of mine. Well, I'll just say I'm Bob Driggers and Dr. Jack Sternberg, and we kind of revamped Bob's group, the Good Government, Garland County Good Government, GGGGGG, I call it, in a little humor. But we've had some great speakers in all those meetings that we've had.
I came to your candidate forum last fall.
Yeah, it was very, very informative, non-confrontational. Just let's when we do vote for people, it should be for a reason, not just a name or, like you said, popularity kind of thing. Is that person the right person for that job? And it's really turned out well. I really believe. And
I agree.
fortunately for the way I believe, the Republican Party's in the forefront of all that. So I'm very, very glad that we've had a little time to speak, and I certainly invite you back sometime if you have something you want to talk about. And I'm just it's glad to call you friend. I'm glad to call you chairman of your organization, and which is also the organization that I believe is in the common sense forefront of today's society. And so thank you, Gaylon, for being here. Is there anything else you want to get in before you leave?
No, that covers it. Tonight, our meeting, hope to see you there.
I'll be there.
First Thursday of every month.
What time is it? 6 o'clock?
At the Garland County Library.
Okay. This is Tom Wilkins with Tomcast and Gaylon Boshears here. We no R in there. I want to make sure everybody knows it. Boshears, and he's a good man for Garland County, for the Republican Party, and we wish you well.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, folks. Thanks for listening. And remember, subscribe below. Click into this so we can get more viewers. Thank you all. God bless you.